To our channel, we are in our blood physiology platelets now, guide 1026 chapter. So first we need to see some important glossary terms to understand them. So first, what is autocoid? Autocoid is nothing but it refers to the local effects from the chemicals that are not blood-borne, and usually these effects are on the smooth muscle. So autocoid are nothing but they are also chemical substances, but they are not blood-borne. That is, they are not coming from the blood but coming from other substances, and these effects are mainly on the smooth muscle. They mainly act upon the smooth muscle, that is called as autocoid. We will see this term usage where it is used. And also myogenic. Myogenic means deriving from the muscle smooth action. So from the muscle action, that is nothing but myogenic action. And pseudopodia, it's a meaning false feet, that is temporary projections of a cell. And punctate means pinpoint. So whenever we punctate our fingers, we get blood, so that is a punctate pinpoint. And next, coming to splenectomy. Splenectomy is nothing but the surgical removal of the spleen. To remove the spleen, it is called as splenectomy. Now let us see some of the important points which are present here. So actually, hemostasis events. Hemostasis events means nothing but to maintain the blood. Whenever the blood is flowing through our normal blood vessel without cuts, then it will flow normally without any clotting factors, because if it forms clot there, it may lead to some atheromas and some heart diseases. But to maintain this homeostasis, our blood always put the anticoagulants activated during normal blood passage. But whenever any cut or whenever injury is taking place, you can understand it also prevents loss of more blood loss. That is also one of the homeostatic activity to maintain the balance, because most of the blood, if it is lost, it may cause anemia, also it may cause sometimes shock. So to prevent all these conditions, our body maintains the homeostasis by preventing the over blood loss by our vessel which is ruptured. So mainly it does main factors like vascular constriction. So whenever the constriction takes place, you can understand the blood flow is decreased. So when the blood flow is decreased, then even the clot formation will be efficient, and blood loss also will be decreased. And also formation of platelet plug, which is very important, we will see in the coagulation. And also formation of clot. So what is the difference between clot, platelet plug? All this we'll see in our next video. And eventual growth of fibrous tissue, because fibrous tissue should form, and finally it gets healed, our tissue gets healed by forming a scar first, the pinkish layer, and later the wound gets retracted. So, and also blood clot to close the hole in the vessel permanently, because if you not close that hole permanently, the blood start continuously leaking, and this may lead to shock or anemic conditions. And vascular constriction is mainly mediated by the local myogenic spasm, as we said here, myogenic, that is muscles contraction spasm, and also local autocoid factors. Local autocoid factors means they are not blood factors, they are local tissue factors which are from traumatized tissue, that is the cut tissue. And also blood platelets are also, of course, platelets play a very important role in formation of this plug. And nervous reflexes also take part. And remember that the nervous reflexes are mainly initiated by the pain nerve impulses, because now whenever you prick a finger, you can understand the pain is coming, so that is carried mainly by the pain nerve impulses or any other sensory impulses. So this is all about this. And in platelet plug formation, we'll see everything in detail. Here now just we'll discuss some of the important points. And the more severely a vessel is traumatized, the greater is the degree of vascular spasm. This is very important. So means if you're having lot of injury in a vessel, then the greater is the degree of vascular spasm, because lot of injury, lot of spasm should occur to constrict, and so that the vessel gets finally closed. And formation of platelet plug, yeah, we will see in our next video. And blood coagulation in ruptured vessel, the clot mainly begins to develop in 15 to 20 seconds in the trauma to the vascular wall has been severe. So if it is a severe, just within 15 to 20 seconds only clots start forming, and in 1 to 2 minutes if trauma has been minor. So if it is very severe, then just it will be very active. Within 15 to 20 seconds only the clot will form. But if it not that much severe, very minute cut, then 1 to 2 minutes is required to form a clot. And within 3 to 6 minutes after the rupture of a vessel, the entire opening or broken end of the vessel is filled with clot. And if the vessel is opening is not too large, if it is not too large, then within only 3 to 6 minutes completely it can repair it. And after 20 minutes to an hour, the clot retracts, which closes the vessel still further. So retraction is segment coming together, so the completely it closes. So platelets also play a very important role in the clot retraction. And next, the fibrous organization or dissolution of the blood clot. So how this takes place? So first, it can become invaded by fibroblasts. As the fibroblasts are coming, you can see here some fibroblasts. As they are coming, they stop the blood flow, and which subsequently form the connective tissue all over the clot. The connective tissue is also forming so that the clot will be stronger and it can dissolve. The usual course of the clot that forms in a small hole of vessel wall is invasion by fibroblasts and beginning within a few hours. So you can see some of the steps here. So first, normally the blood is flowing, slowly the platelets, factors, all those are coming, and slowly from two sides you can see fibrous tissue, connective tissue is forming, and finally the clot is formed so that the blood will not lose more. And yeah, here we need to see some of the clotting factors in blood and the synonyms. Actually, fibrinogen. Fibrinogen is nothing but the factor 1 in our coagulation system. Prothrombin is the factor 2, and the tissue factor is the factor 3, that is tissue thromboplastin. And calcium is a factor 4. Factor 5 is processylin labile factor AC globin, that's also in short form ACG. And factor 7 is a serum prothrombin conversion accelerator, that is proconvertin stable factor. And factor 8 is our anti-hemophilic factor, anti-hemophilic globulin, and anti-hemophilic factor A. And factor 9 is a plasma thromboplastin component, that is also called as Christmas factor, anti-hemophilic factor B. And factor 10 is a Stuart factor, Stuart power factor. Factor 11 is the plasma thromboplastin antecedent PTA and anti-hemophilic factor C. So factor 12 is a Hegamen factor. Factor 13 is a fibrin stabilizing factor, and precalcrin is a Fletcher factor. High molecular weight kinogen is Fitzgerald factor. High molecular weight kinogen, HMWK, and platelets. So you can see this is all like some of the synonyms of our clotting factors. And we'll move on to our important. So platelets are also nothing but called as thrombocytes. They are the disc about 1 to 4 μm, and they are also called as megakaryocytes, which are extremely large hemopoietic cells in the marrow, in the bone marrow. All these cells come from the bone marrow, right? So the platelets in the blood are between 1 2 3 4, so 1,50,000 and up to 3 lakhs. They may be like this, around this 1,50,000 and 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, yeah, 3 lakhs, up to 3 lakhs. So they can vary up to this. So remember that the platelets don't have nuclei and cannot reproduce. If you remember, even our RBC don't have any nuclei and no mitochondria, right? But here platelets mainly don't have the nuclei. And in their cytoplasm, they mainly have actin myosin molecules, which are contractile proteins similar to those found in muscle cells. And still another contractile protein is called thrombostenin. Thrombostenin is also present, that can cause the platelets to contract. So thrombostenin is mainly used for the contraction of platelets, and residues of both endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus synthesize various enzymes and store large quantities of calcium ions as like normal cells. And mitochondria and enzyme systems are capable of forming adenosine triphosphate, we know, and also ADP. So the enzyme systems that synthesize prostaglandin, which are the local hormones, cause many vascular and local tissue reactions. An important protein called fibrin stabilizing factor, very important, which we discussed in blood coagulation, we'll see it. And growth factor that causes vascular endothelial cells, vascular smooth muscle cells, and fibroblasts to multiply and grow, thus causing cellular growth and eventually help in repair the damaged vascular walls. And on the platelet cell membrane surface is also a coat of glycoprotein that mainly repulses adherence to normal endothelium and yet cause adherence to injured area. So normally all platelets should not stick in a normal endothelium, because if they stick and form unusual clots, they are unnecessary. But it should only form a clot in a injured tissue, so that because of the presence of this glycoprotein adhesion molecule, it knows when to stick to the injured tissue of the vessel wall, especially to the injured endothelial cells, and even more so to any exposed collagen from deep within the vessel wall. So in addition, the platelet membrane contains large amount of phospholipids that activate multiple stages in blood clotting process. And it has a half-life. Half-life is about 8 to 12 days. It's very active structure. So more than one half of the platelets are removed by macrophages in the spleen, where the blood passes through a lattice work of tight trabeculae. Spleen, in spleen only when the platelets gets destroyed when passing through this tight network of trabeculae. And mechanism of platelet for, yeah, we'll see next video. So important of platelets for closing the vascular holes, yeah, because to prevent the excessive blood loss. So functions of the platelets, they're mainly involved in thrombosis and formation of platelet plaque, as also involved in promoting coagulation, can be deduced from contents of platelet granules. And alpha granules mainly contain like a platelet factor 4 procoagulant. Fibronectin helps in binding to thrombocyte. Thrombospondin stabilizing platelet plug. Platelet derived growth factor promote fibrosis and also wound healing. And dense bodies contain adenine nucleotides and serotonin. Lysosomes contain enzymes like acid hydrolysis. Microperoxisomes contain catalysis like all every cells. So let us see what is thrombocytopenia. It is nothing but presence of very low numbers of platelets in the circulating blood. So if the blood has low number of platelets, it is called as thrombocytopenia, and the tendency to bleed as do hemophilias, because very low platelets, so they can't form clots and they start bleeding as like in a hemophilia normal. So except that the bleeding is usually from many small venules or capillaries rather than from the large vessels, as in hemophilia. You know, in hemophilia, blood comes usually from large vessels. There will be lot of bleeding when compared with the thrombocytopenia. As a result, the small punctuate hemorrhage occur throughout the body. So you know, normally in our body daily there may be some small micro punctures. So every day our body tries to heal it by means of platelets. So in the people like this thrombocytopenia or hemophilia, you can understand those micro structures can't be healed, so that they will have many micro hemorrhages in their bodies. And this is yeah so this and next, small punctures hemorrhages are formed throughout the body, so they appear like display like small purple blotches on the skin. This disease is mainly called as thrombocytopenic purpura, because some purple patches are forming under the skin. So thrombocytopenic purpura. And ordinarily, you know, bleeding will not occur until the number of platelets in the body falls below 50,000. So if the below 50,000 only, the it start bleeding, rather than the normal of like 1 lakh 50,000 to 3 lakhs. So levels as low as 10,000 are frequently lethal. Yeah, of course. Below 50,000 only we are saying that it is having bleeding. Then below 10,000 means it's very worse condition, so it may lead to death also sometimes. Like a lot of bleeding takes place, shock happens, and the person may die. So specific antibodies have formed and react against the platelets to destroy them. So this relief from the bleeding for like about 1 to 4 days. So remember that specific antibodies are formed and stop the platelets. Means, you know, always the clot should be not there. Whenever the injury is completed, then the platelets should go to their normal function. So specific antibodies are present to relieve from the bleeding, like from 1 to 4 days, can often be affected in a patient with thrombocytopenia by giving fresh whole blood transfusions that contain large number of platelets. And also splenectomy is often helpful, sometimes affecting almost complete cure, because the spleen normally removes a large number of platelets from the body. So what happens in this thrombocytopenia? Already they have low platelets, so they also have some antibodies against the platelets, so that it can relieve from bleeding for 1 to 4 days. And even if we can relieve this by giving some blood transfusions, you know, in the blood transfusions we have platelets, so that this person also now gets platelets and they have some relief from the bleeding. And also the main problem here is from spleen, because spleen destroys the platelets. So if now in this person we do splenectomy, that is if we remove the spleen permanently, then he can have lot of platelets in his body, and now the problem may be also solved. So splenectomy is a treatment for this thrombocytopenia. But because of splenectomy, I think some immune diseases may also occur, because of, you know, it acts as a lymph node, all those things. And yeah, next we need to see the use of TPA in treating intravascular clots. So what is this TPA? Generally, you know, the engineered tissue, that is a plasminogen activator, is available. When it's delivered through a catheter to an area with a thrombus, it is effective in activating the plasminogen to plasmin. So whenever this plasmin is activated, which in turn can dissolve some intravascular clots. For instance, it is used within first hour or so thrombotic occlusion of coronary artery or after a stroke. And the heart and the brain are often spared by serious damage. So this TPA is a life-saving process, where the, you know, the clots or thrombus are very heavily occluding the vessels. So what is does this mainly? It activates the plasminogen to a plasmin. So now this plasmin goes and just break down the clots. So by breaking down the clots, the way will be clear and the blood can flow happily. So this is a main important process to treat strokes in brain or even in the heart, coronary arteries. So however, remember that again the TPA therapy can be a lifesaver. It is mainly used in pulmonary embolism also. You know, in pulmonary embolism, what happens when a person is sitting for a long time, or in a traveling, or like a bedridden patient. So what happens in them, the clots are formed in their veins in the lower legs. So from the lower legs it enters into right atrium, and next into right ventricle. So from right ventricle it enters directly into pulmonary arteries. So there they may clot the they may block the way, so that it may lead to pulmonary embolism. So in this pulmonary embolism also, if it is very big, it occludes complete vessel of pulmonary artery, then the person may die. So to prevent this also, we may use TPA. So TPA is a life saving process in these patients with pulmonary embolism. Now let us see the bleeding time. So I, IME depends largely on the depth of the wound and the degree of hyperemia in the finger or earlobe at the time of the test. So, for example, bleeding time is nothing but when a sharp pointed knife is pierced to a finger or a lobe of a ear, then the bleeding lasts for only 1 to 6 minutes. But this mainly depends on the depth of the wound and the degree of hyperemia in the finger and earlobe at the time of the test. So, lack of any one of the several of clotting factors can produce the bleeding time or increase the bleeding time. So but it's especially prolonged by the lack of platelets. So bleeding time is nothing but if you pierce, it depends mainly on how much we pierce, how much deep it has gone into the tissue. So and also it depends on the hyperemia, that is the redness or which is created by the wound. So if the injury is so severe, then the bleeding time also will be more, and the injury is low, then the bleeding time may decrease. So especially it is prolonged if when the platelets are low, because platelets are the vein which forms the clots to prevent the blood loss. So if the platelets are low, you can understand the bleeding time is so much increase. So this is all about our platelets guide in chapter number 26. And after platelets, we will start with our blood coagulation. In that, we will also understand about these platelets much more clearly, formation of platelet flex, all those things.